Hey, yo! Welcome back to the Doug and Beyond. So we are just about a month into the season, hitting about 30 games here on the year for most of the teams, honestly. And we have, of course, last year we had basically the reigning worst team in MLB history, the White Sox, coming in with 121 losses last year. As they also had, in that game was a pretty crazy game, as they lost to the Detroit Tigers, which actually helped the Tigers get into the playoffs. And also that game helped clinch the worst record in MLB history at the same time, which was pretty interesting at that moment. But right now, I think we're on track to have an even worse team than the White Sox, and the White Sox are still atrocious this year. We have the Colorado Rockies coming in at an astounding only 4 wins with 25 losses in the season. They are already 15.5 games out in the NL West here, and I think in the actual league here, they are 16.5 out of in the National League. They're 16.5, so they're that much further back, with the Mets in first here at 21-9, with the Dodgers, who are in their division of the NL West, of 20-10, right behind them. But yeah, this is just not looking good at all. It's really sad to see. Like, you're I think they said that they're on track to win like maybe 20-something games, which I'm seeing here about a projection of 51 games, or 50 to 51 games, which I'm not even, I don't think that they're going to get even that much. That would be, I think that would be a wish, a very massive wish that they would get if they actually got remotely close to that at this point. Which I hope that they do, and I hope that something kind of turns around here for them in the here early on. I guess they do have a bunch of players out on the IL. They also have some players that are on the IL that are still just also not good in general. You have I know that for their outfield, they have Chris Bryant went on the 10-day IL again. Of course, his career basically kind of just tanked it after he went here. He did sign a big contract with the Rockies, I think 2 years ago. So he kind of put himself in that position to not have a great career after that, and basically just be injured all the time. Ezekiel Tovar, Aaron Schunk, Tyler Freeman are all on the IL here. Victor Rodnick, 15-day IL. Austin Gomber, 60-day IL, along with Jeff Criswell. But yeah, they of course also so there's so many injuries that they're bringing up a lot of all these minor leaguers who are never, of course, played in the league before, and it's just not working out at all. You have I was thinking about like who was on this team and who isn't at this moment, and I remembered who. Brendan Rodgers, who was on the Rockies the last 6 years, he is now on the Astros, who actually, granted, I'm pretty sure the Astros are not doing so hot either, as they are, they're above 500 by a couple of games here, but that still is not great. They were a little bit worse. I think they were about 3rd or 4th in the AL West about last week, so they're definitely making moves here, but I'm like, Brendan Rodgers, yeah, he was a pretty solid player for them, batting for Colorado. He was doing about 266, which is obviously not great, 265-ish around there. But yeah, this is he's doing 224 in Houston right now. Obviously not a good average, but not terrible. But that's just nothing great for this team. But I know. Usually for a lot of teams throughout the country, I pride myself in knowing about half the teams, half the rosters for the teams out there. But I was thinking, I don't know more than half these players. I know about 4 to 5 of them at most. And for someone that does watch this sport a lot, probably the most out of any sport in the country, basketball, football, all that. That's kind of insanely surprising that I don't know that many players on this team, and I can probably ask multiple people out there who are big baseball fans, name 10 players on the Rockies that have not gotten hurt and are fully in the majors right now and not prospects. I can guarantee you that none of those people, I can take 10 people and they will not get it. They will not get 10 players in the team. Right now we have batting. We have for the batting leaders. Right now for average is Hunter Goodman at 266. We have runs, Hunter Goodman, the catcher, at 15 runs. Home runs is Jordan Beck with 5, which is not great, as a lot of teams have like their lowest. Some of their lowest people are at 5 home runs. We have Hunter, you have Hunter Goodman. Jordan Beck and Hunter Goodman are both tied at 5 home runs, along with Hunter Goodman with runs batted in is 14, and Jordan Beck has 4 stolen bases on the year. And pitching, we have 4 pitchers tied with the most amount of wins on the team at 1. You have three people tied with saves at 1, and you have the best ERA coming in from Ryan Feltner at 4.75. That is terrible. Strikeouts, same one, Ryan Feltner at 25. And you have the best whip on the team coming from Kyle Freeman of a 1.45, which is not bad, but not great either. That just shows that their entire situation is just not in a good spot here. But yeah, I don't really know. This is it. You really can't even figure out where they're going wrong, because it's like, it kind of feels like once you go to the Rockies or the White Sox, more of like the Rockies and maybe the A's, that your career could be just over. Like, it's not a good place to for pitchers, not a good place for anything. Like, it's cold. It just kind of sucks to be there. And yeah, this is just an insane kind of realization of how bad this team actually is, and that they might take the cake quite easily for the worst team in MLB history. And it's literally starting May. May is here. We're barely a month in, and they already have probably a major shot at that record, which is obviously not good. Maybe they can start rebuilding stuff in some way. Maybe give other players just unusual contracts for the team and see what happens along the way. As that's what as we saw what the A's did this past offseason, where they did that, and they're kind of fighting for it right now. They're fighting for a good spot. They're in it. They're having some good plays. They're getting in some household names. Luis Severino, Urshela. I know I'm just going to name off half the Yankees because half the Yankees are on the A's right now. J.P. Sears. You have Sanderson. You have Jacob Wilson, who's doing really well there. Sanderson, who is probably in the top 5 for home runs this year. So it's definitely a situation that they've kind of fixed. The White Sox are also in that situation, but they're a couple wins ahead of the Rockies right now, which is still obviously, again, not good. But yeah, let's see how this turns around. Maybe we'll check back by around the All-Star break and see what's happening with them. But yeah, other than that, not looking good, and we're looking like we might have another record on our hands. I'll see you on the next one. Peace!